He's taking some good punches here. Burbik working on the body. Right him up, Zach. Half a minute to go in the round, and it's a good round. A very good round. Better than any round of the Holmes fight for Ali. Ali rocked back by that left hand. Ali's looking to land that combination, but he's going too far over. Burbik is taking this one seriously, too. Burbik is really rocking the body. He's going everything. He's going wild and crazy. That's a great round. Great round. I would hope that Muhammad Ali would pace himself a little bit to make sure he doesn't poop out. Round two. Burbik finished the round fast. Now we're in round two. Muhammad Ali, the white trunks with the black stripes, and border. Ali comes out jabbing and moving. Burbik in the red border and stripes around the white trunks. He's dropping his right hand. He's dropping his right hand when he's jabbing. You mean Ali? Ali, yeah. But when Burbik tried to counter with that left hook, he still got away from it, so that's what counts. That's right. Ali is a retreating fighter right now. Burbik is trailing him. Ali pecking away with the left, but they are not landing. Burbik is concentrated on the body. He's got to get out of that corner. Back Clayton getting them apart. Ali beat him to the punch, but then Burbik came at him.
Yo, hold on. Come on, get out. Come on. Come on.
Ali winching as those punches are hitting his body. He's got a nice frown on his face. Jack Clayton is a no-nonsense referee, no matter who's in there. Burbik is mad. He's saying, why Ali? Ali was a sitting duck there, and he's being belabored by Burbik. Ali doing the holding. Yeah, he's back to his old habit of putting his hand around the man's neck. Burbik doesn't like the chance of Ali. Burbik is moving in disdainful of Ali.
Come on, come on.
He's contemptuous of him. Ali putting on a rally. He hasn't really landed any punches though. No, not good. Not at all. They're sliding off Burbik's head. The Ali reflexes are gone. He knows what to do, but he can't do it. At least he can't up to now. He just can't put it together. It's the weight that's slowing him down and the age that's slowing him down. He's got the moves, they're just too slow. Burbik is just standing there and moving away from him. Like right there when he cocked up with the right hand. That's what he's doing. That is a good punch. The first punch. Now Ali winces. Ali has nailed Burbik some good punches.
Work.
Ali putting on a good show. Zach Clayton is saying work. Good right hand by Ali. Counter punch over the jab. Another right hand by Ali. Ali's having a good round now.
Come on. Go, come on. Hey! Come on.
Round three. Muhammad Ali. White trunks, black stripe and border. Burbik, the white trunks and the red stripe and border. Ali keeps jabbing him and keeps him off balance. Some good jabs by Ali. He's sticking out there. They are good. They're too long. Ali having a good round now, but Berbick is back at him, and he may have hurt him with that hook. In the first round, Berbick has gone for the body. Ali has gone for the head. Time running out in the round, a little more than half a minute. Ali short with the jabs.
Come on, get off. Come on, work. Work, come on.
Ali in his own corner, holding on.
Get out, come on. All right, let's work. Come on. Get off, come on.
Ali in trouble over there, not getting hurt, but he's bothered.
Come on, let's work. Come on. Come on. Okay, baby.
Round 4 of a 10-rounder.
Well, this is a fight that I wouldn't be too sure Berbick's ahead.
Close enough. Both have white trunks. Those who joined us late, Berbick has the red stripe and border, Ali the black stripe and border. Berbick goes jabbing to the head for a change. He's mostly worked the body.
That was a good shot to the chest by Berbick with the left hook.
Ali a little bit tentative.
It almost got hit for it.
These are solid punches. They're just above us. Berbick is pounding everything in on Ali. He's got him against the ropes. He's really trying to level him. Ali always could take a punch, but now he's in trouble.
Yep, he looks like he's in trouble. He got hit a couple times to the head after Berbick went to the body and straight up. Got by his defense.
Berbick's after him. Ali retreating.
I'm very concerned.
It's a tough round for Ali.
I am too. Very concerned. Ali's still trying his heart out, but it's not there.
Berbick is coasting a little bit as Ali holds on.
Come on.
A minute and a half to go in the round. That's a long time.
I'm going to tell you again that Berbick's breathing hard.
Take it. Come on, come on, come on. Get out there.
Well, he's thrown a lot of punches, Davey.
Yes, he has.
Berbick coasting a little, trying to get in there. Still works the body.
I'll take it down. Get out. Come on, let's work. Come on, let's work, man.
Berbick is breathing extremely hard, isn't he?
Come on.
He's very hard.
I'll take it.
Ali holding
Take it.
on.
Come on. Okay, he got it. Come on. Work. Come on. Let's work. Let's work, fellas.
Berbick may be a little arm weary.
You look a little tired, do you now? Oh, come on. Three-punch combination by Ollie.
Berbick came back with a big one, too.
Shook him.
Good rally by Ali here.
Come on, work. Come on. Come on.
Ali was knocked back by that right hand.
Come on. Let's work. Come on. That's it. Come on. Work. Come on. Come on.
Berbick is punching back now.
Come on.
It's a real fight.
Work. Come on. Take it. That's it. Now, hey!
Round 7, Muhammad Ali, Trevor Berbick. It's scheduled for 10. There have been no knockdowns. Nobody's been seriously hurt. trying to get in on Ali again. Ali tucking away with the left to keep him off.
Doing a good job of it. It's a crazy left hook landed by Burbick.
Now Ali's covering up.
All right, I'll take that hand out of here.
And they must say through the fight, Ali has made most of the clinches, done most of the holding. Burbick all over Ali and on the ropes.
Two of those right hands landed just fairly effectively.
A lot of them are getting in.
Work your way out of there. Both of you. Fight your way out. Both of you, let's get off. Let's get off.
Ali against the ropes again. Burbick on top of him. It's Burbick doing the landing.
This to me is Ali's biggest mistake.
Burbick is giving him no rest right now. Ali is taking a lot of punishment, but he always could.
This is Burbick's game plan, is to get in and try to wear Ali out, throw a lot of punches and try to look good and win these rounds.
That's what he's doing.
Work, come on.
Ali was really hurt that time. He's wincing. He's getting a little gun shy, and he's worried. Burbick's all over him in this round. Ali taking a battering on the ropes.
Burbick looks like he's picking it up.
Both and put on his show. 45 seconds to go in the round.
I think Burbick just looked at Zach
Burbick
Clayton.
putting everything into his punches, head and body now.
Let's go, Bert.
Burbick at this point is thinking that Clayton should stop the fight. Yes, that's what he was yelling to the referee. Yeah, he yelled at him for that.
Take that hand out. Come on, get that hand out of there. Come on.
Burbick don't like Ali holding the one head.
Ali has done nothing for the last 2 minutes of this round, but take punishment. He's trying to keep Burbick away. He's trying to put on a rally now, but Burbick is still on top of him. He took a bad beating.
That was Ali's first round.
Round 8 of a 10-rounder. Ali goes dancing for a change and tucking away. The old Ali dance, the shuffle.
Caught him with a beautiful left hook.
Burbick doesn't believe it. There's Ali dancing for the first time tonight. Up on his toes. But it may be from memory.
His corner is yelling at Ali to dance. That's what Ali has to do the whole fight, is stick out his jab and stay away.
The crowd has come alive. He's keeping Burbick off.
Burbick is going to come in throwing wild punches any minute.
He will. Ali making the clinch.
That's what Ali has to do, is tie him up on the inside. And
I
stay
wonder
on the
how long he
outside.
can dance this way, though.
Well, he looks like he's in
Oh,
good
he
shape.
got nailed in.
That actually left hook grazed off the back of the head. Wasn't that hard?
Ali tucking away like the Ali of old. But Burbick keeps coming in on him.
Not only is Ali dancing, but his punches are fairly effective.
Punch out and get out. I'll take it. Come on. Come on, let's go. Come on. Come on.
Ali is holding on.
Burbick's very tired. I have a feeling Burbick won't stop. He's going to keep coming in.
Ali rocked into the ropes by that left hand. And the right.
That took was partially blocked. Those aren't though.
Burbick is all over him. Ali can still dance.
An amazing man.
I'll take it, Paulie. Get out. Come on.
Amazing night in the Bahamas.
Nice going.
Ali started the photo, but it got picked off in midair. Burbick is on him again.
Let him out. Come on.
That's what all he has to do is tie him up on the inside and stay on the outside.
It's been a good round for the ex-champion.
Both of you.
10 seconds left.
Work.
Round 9. Who thought it would go this far? Trevor Burbick with the red stripe and border. Muhammad Ali with the black stripe and border, both wearing white trunks.
Well, this goes to prove one thing, that extra weight really hasn't stopped Ali's condition. Anyway, he's in very good shape, which he told a lot of people he was.
I didn't think he could dance 7 or 8 rounds of action that way.
No, especially after the punches he's taken.
Burbick's backing him into the ropes again.
Ali tries to get out. He's nailed by a couple of good punches.
Luckily, they were grazed off his left foot, off the left cheek.
Ali may be entertaining the crowd, but he's not scoring punches here.
Burbick trying to throw out of desperation and try to stop Ali, and now they're in his combination. Ali's staying on the outside. Keeping his jab going.
Jabbing again. Burbick can't get started in this round, but now he does. Ali making the clinch.
Push out of there. That's it.
Throughout the fight, it has been Ali doing the holding. Burbick a little bit frustrated here.
John, that's a lot of experience going on out there.
Burbick's trying to throw a lot of fast punches. Not real effective or hard, but a lot of fast punches just to land them.
He's forcing Ali back to the ropes again. Ali is holding on.
Push off. No, push out of there. Push out. That's it.
Ali a little bit short with those jabs, but Burbick wasn't short.
Now break yourself. Get out of there. Fight out. Get out, guys. Come on.
About 3/4 of a minute left to go in the round. Burbick all over Ali again.
No punches landed real effectively, but that's what Burbick wants to do, throw a lot of punches.
That was a good one.
Punch out and get out. Punch out. Punch out and get out. Punch out and get out. Come on. Punch out and get out.
That's the referee here.
Ali's against the ropes, trying to lean back, get away from Burbick's punches.
Punch out and get out. Punch out and get out. Punch out and get out. Come on.
Burbick landing some good punches while Ali tries to hold on.
Yeah, some good punches were landed.
Punch out and get out. Punch out and get out. Hey.
Here's the 10th and final round. Zach Clayton hasn't touched gloves. Who will be there? Ali goes to dancing. Burbick is dancing. Burbick's on top of him.
Angelo Dundee was yelling to him, go, 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 go. Get out there and dance.
Push out. Get out yourself.
This is what Ali's trying to do. This round he wants to stay away and use that jab. Good combination by Ali.
Burbick holds him again against the ropes again. Over in Burbick's corner. It's been some fight, hasn't it, fellas?
Very good.
Oh, fantastic fight. Even though this is a 10-round fight, this is history.
Ali is trying. So is Burbick. Burbick ripping the body again. Referee says this is it. Let's go. It is. This is it.
Ali is trying to exchange with him. I don't know if that's so good. Ali has to stay on his toes and dance.
About a minute and a half left to go in the fight in this 10th and final round here in the Bahamas, Nassau, Bahamas.
Burbick's swinging like a wild man again. Just trying to land those punches.
Burbick's throwing out all the stops. He's all over Ali on the ropes. now. Ali holding on.
Ali has to move, and he's done. He's just standing there.
He's driven back to the ropes again. Burbick from down under.
Ali's punches are barely getting out there.
Ali wants to put on a last-second rally. 30 seconds left to go. Burbick drives him back again. There have been no knockdowns in the fight.
Those are two good
Big
punches by Burbick.
Burbick. Big punches. The biggest of the fight. 10 seconds.
There'll be no knockout now.
There it is. It's all over.
What a fight.
Tremendous fight. A tremendous
Very good
effort.
fight.
Can you hear me, Jim?
I can hear you, Don, and of course everyone in Ali's corner feels that he won the fight by a decision. Drew Boondini, Brown, Wallace Muhammad, the rest of them over there cheering him. Jimmy Ellis, who Ali beat one time before and now came back. And of course everybody here feels, Don, that Ali really won the fight. People are hugging each other. And of course, it is really a tremendous thing that has happened here because for a long time, everyone that I talked to was hoping that Ali could win the fight. They didn't know that he could win the fight. They were hoping that actually he wouldn't come in here. But then, of course, after everything happened, once he got in here, I think the crowd got behind him. And, of course, Trevor Burbick knew that Muhammad Ali would be the sentimental favorite going into the fight. One of the things that we noticed at ringside was that the slowness of Ali. However, in round 10, Trevor Burbick came out, and it looked as though he knew that he was going to have to knock him out in order to win it. Burbick is walking around. He's been holding his hands up in the air as though he did win the fight. However, there is a look of gloom in his eyes as though he may have figured that he did lose it by a decision.
Jim, it's almost like election night while the candidates wait for the returns to come in. Did you hear me? I said it's almost like election night with the candidates waiting for the returns to come in.
That's right, and everybody on each side is saying that their candidate happened to win until the actual vote does come in. But
let's see where Davy Pearl is up there. Davy, can you hear me?
Yes.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to win, but I
Trevor.
tried to hurt him. It's a war I tried to hurt him. I couldn't try to hurt him. I just want to win.
Trevor.
No, I hit him with the hard right hand, and all I could think about the man getting hurt. Trevor. He was hard.
Face the camera,
Stop
man.
there putting the truth since I've been here.
Face the camera.
Hi, how you doing?
Trev, you're a good-looking guy. Don't be afraid of the camera.
No, I'm
Okay?
not.
Okay, Trevor, what are your plans now for the future?
Why? I'm waiting on this decision. I know I won the fight. No doubt about it. I gave him a lot of time. I shoot him off and back off instead of loading up.
All right, let's assume you won the fight. What are your plans for
Well, I want to go for the World Heavyweight Championship.
Have you got any potential fights lined up?
Yeah, there's quite a few I could fight. I've been getting a lot of offers, but it's just a matter of accepting them, depends on the conditions. This one was awful. Since I get here, it was a mental strain that put me through.
You figure it hurt you physically, huh?
Hey, man, it hurt me mentally so bad that physically I'm tired. Even today, they had me wait on my return reporter since yesterday. Tired, wear me off. They did it deliberately, I know it. Just for Holly to be in better shape physically and mentally. But I survive and I overcome, I know it.
Seemed like earlier in the fight you were talking to him.
Yeah,
What were you
because
saying?
I just told him, do the best you can, because I don't want to hurt you.
Did he answer you?
He was saying, you know, sort of sad. That sad look in his face. It's hard, man. It's harder. It's harder.
Matt Helrich is trying to get the decision made. He's looking over the card. Here it is.
You're supposed to be in here.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a unanimous decision. Judge Alonzo Butler votes it 97-94. Judge Clyde Gray votes 99-94. Judge Jay Edson votes 99-94. Unanimous decision for Trevor Burbick.
Well, there you have it. Trevor Burbick is the unanimous decision. Judge Butler 97-94. Judge Gray 99-94. And Jay Edson 99-94.
I can hear you, Don. I'm at the center of the ring right now. Trevor Berbick and Muhammad Ali are hugging each other. Berbick is telling Ali that, listen to this.
And I shall go on to win the world championship. Wait till you see me next time shine. I'll be doing all the things. I could have done it with you, man. You're my superior. But I'm going to do it for you, man. You inspire me since I've been a kid. I love you, man. You're a true brother, man. I love you. Thank you, man. You made me. Bless you. Pray for you.
Muhammad.
There's still a madhouse in the ring.
Muhammad, can I get you just for a second, Muhammad? Muhammad, can I get you just for a second? There were some people at ringside that thought that you might have won this thing by going the distance, like you said you did.
Yeah, it was close. It was close. And I had to submit to the judges. He was strong. He was good. I think you know.
Do you agree now, Muhammad, that you should retire and never come back in this ring again? Muhammad, has it settled in your mind now, after losing, that this is it for you? You should never come back in this ring again?
I'm sure that this is enough to convince me. I didn't get hurt. I saw the shots, couldn't take them. Father Time just got it.
It looked to us at ringside that, you were slow, you were telegraphing your punches, the eyes could see it, but the physical ability just couldn't get it there.
That's right. I think that's the trouble. Father Time called me. In my young days, I wouldn't have had much trouble, but I think Time got it.
And this is it for you?
I'm sure that this is it. I'm sure I won't wake up next week. As of now, I'm retired. I don't think I'll change my mind.
Muhammad, thank you so very much, and thank you from all of us around the world.
Thank you.
Don Dunphy, back to you.
All right, Jim Hill, thank you very much. We have seen possibly the end of a great champion, but in all fairness, Trevor Berbick won the fight, and it's to the credit of the Bahamian officials that they scored it as it was, and not by memory. I want to congratulate my colleagues, Jim Hill and Davey Pearl and Randy Shields. It's certainly been a pleasure working with you. It's been a great night here in the Bahamas. Thank you very much.
Gave him the 5th round.
You're tuned in to the Ringside Network, where boxing comes to life.
Hey fight fans, Rich Quinones here, host of Boxing Around the Globe, where we give you, the fight fans, the laydown, the breakdown when it comes to the sweet science.
I'm Charisma McElwain, boxing expert, and we're here to give you all the inside information that you need.
Exclusively and only on the Ringside Network.
Your ringside seat.
Is there a non-stop fight, Bob, to Macau? I was over there a couple of years ago, and I flew into Hong Kong. Did you know about that?
There are two ways to go. One is to fly to Hong Kong and take the ferry to Macau. The other is to fly into Taipei and then take a connecting flight to Macau. There is no non-stop from the States to Macau. But the best way to go is to take EVA Airline to Taipei, and then you wait about 2 hours, and you take the flight to Macau, and you're 5 minutes from the hotel.
Right. Yeah, we flew over on EVA Air, and as I recall, there were only 2 or 3 flights per week. Is that still the case?
No, they have a lot more.
Okay.
And from New York, LA, and San Francisco.
Bob, do you expect a sellout in the arena?
Oh, definitely. It's, that's not a question. The arena sold out for Manny's last fight. It'll sell out for this, and we'll have thousands watching at the facility on closed circuit.
Is the undercard developing to your satisfaction?
It's already done. It's Zhao Shiming in the eliminator, Vasil Lomachenko against the #1 contender, and Vargas, Jesse Vargas against Tony DeMarco of Mexico for the 140-pound title. And then we'll have various Chinese fighters fighting in the non-televised portion.
Bob, you were recently quoted as saying that Pacquiao and Mayweather may indeed fight twice in 2015. What, if anything, can you tell us about that?
Just that there's no network complication. You know, Pacquiao fights on HBO, Mayweather fights on Showtime. They've agreed to work together if and when the parties can put together the fight.
Would you expect a fight like that, assuming that a Mayweather-Pacquiao fight did happen, that it would be overseas, or would it be stateside like in Las Vegas?
Well, it would probably be stateside, I would think, but not necessarily Vegas. What about Jerry Jones's stadium in Dallas?
Right. What would be your preference? Where would you like to see it?
Dallas.
Dallas? Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Caesars Palace Hotel of Las Vegas, Nevada welcomes you to the Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum for tonight's 12-round heavyweight main event. Ring officials have been assigned here by the New York State Athletic Commission, James A. Farley Jr. Chairman.
Directly above us in his corner. Okay, he's announcing the referee and the judges. The judges are Artie Idala and Tony Castellano, both respected men with long boxing past as officials. The referee, say there are about 16,000 people here, all of them cheering for Joe Frazier.
Former heavyweight champion of the world, 224.5 pounds, George Foreman. 12 rounds main event.
That's not easy for George Foreman to take. He remembers the way it was on an October day in 1968 in the wake of the Tommy Smith and John Carlos Black Power protests during the 19th Olympiad in Mexico City. He remembers how it was. Now watch this.
Now when I tell you to break, I want you to step back.
George Foreman, who was once a sparring partner for the late Charles Sonny Liston, using the baleful stare approach. Look at that. The same way Liston did. It's unaccountable. It happened. I don't think it'll have any effect on Joe Frazier. The referee is Harold Vallon. I'll tell you more about Harold Vallon later. But he refereed the Ellis-Patterson fight in Stockholm in 1968. And he was a controversy by himself. Round one, action underway. Now will Joe stay away from him? Can Joe change his style? Joe will bob and weave as he always does. You can be sure of that. The left hook, missing. Foreman remembering the way it was. First time around. Joe bobbing. It didn't start this way, as you saw earlier in Kingston, Jamaica. But George is big. He comes at you. Foreman is throwing leather. He's got Frazier against the ropes. And Foreman is punching crisply. They're not those long looping punches. Foreman has confidence against Joe Frazier. This is not Frazier pursuing Ali. It's a different kind of fight. There are horses for courses. There are styles for fighters. Foreman is punching away at Joe Frazier. That left looks like a telephone pole when it comes at you from George Foreman. And then there's the right uppercut, his other great weapon. That left keeps getting into Frazier. Again, you saw it there. Then the right. Foreman wants this fight desperate. He says he'll do more damage than he did in the first bout. He says winners get kissed. He's bitter about the way people have treated him. I repeat that. It's critical to George Foreman. Foreman the red chance, Frazier the white. Frazier looking so small against the hugeness of Foreman. But it's first round action. And in the first time around, Frazier went down 3 times. Frazier dancing, bobbing, weaving, challenging Foreman. Getting hit by a left and the crowd roars. Good left by Foreman. You saw it. Good left. The end of round 1. Now the crowd is alive. Now they're saying 2 men going at it. Each a heavyweight champion of the world. Frazier is moving, slipping, trying to, as much as he can. Stay away. Tire Foreman out. Foreman sits in his corner, listening to Charlie Shites, working the corner. Howard Albert, Gil Clancy's longtime managerial mate of Emil Griffith, also in Foreman's corner. Round 2. Glove, 8.5 ounces. Frazier's glove, 8 ounces. A hassle over the weights. Commissioner James Farley Jr. said, I don't care. Foreman punching straight. No longer those long punches. Punching straight, crisply. Foreman with that left getting in there. Utterly confident. Left hook, probably his best punch so far. Foreman getting the right in there. Frazier against the ropes. This is not a rope-a-dope situation. Foreman missed with a good left hook. Foreman steadily the aggressor. Frazier still on the ropes. Now Hoffman back against is a fight. Look at the countdown in the lower right-hand corner of your screen. Second round action. Frazier now in the middle of the ring. doing something. Good left hook. Got in there. Got in there by Frazier. Better second round for Frazier than the first round. Frazier, a notoriously slow start. Always bad in the first round. But Foreman, punching away, dominated in an aggressive set. Coming up to the end of round 2. There it is. And the crowd is alive for this fight. Let's take a look in slow-mo at that first left by Joe Frazier. Watch this. There's the right lead, the left lead by Foreman. Left again missing, the right scoring, the left missing, and up comes Frazier with the left. Nonetheless, the unofficial scoring around me has it 2 rounds for Foreman, no rounds for Frazier. But Frazier's strategy evolves before your eyes. To stay in there, to bob, to weave, to let Foreman hopefully use himself up, to avoid that stunning right uppercut that really caused Frazier's demise in the first fight. And then to come on in his own way, as he has against Ali. Round 3. I don't think I have to identify Frazier for you or Foreman. Now let's see if Joe comes on. Foreman missing with that left. Joe in the middle of the ring this time. He worked the ropes a lot in round 2. Foreman missing with his right. Joe working more aggressively in this round. Note that immediately. Foreman pushing him off. They had a hassle about that before the fight, too. In the first fight, no question, George manhandled Joe. Good right lead by Foreman. Another good right. Oh, Frazier hurt. Frazier hurt by a right lead and then a left. Thereafter, steadily, insistent. This is a fan's fight. Right by George. George has hurt Joe Frazier in this round. Joe fighting back. Foreman accused Joe of quitting in the first fight. Frazier never quit in his life. Frazier coming back at George. Frazier slips a lot of those punches, but gets hit with too many. George has not taken a backward step. Round 3. Action, action, action. Frazier appears totally, or rather Foreman appears totally unafraid of Frazier. You saw that left again. Foreman did pull Frazier with his left hand behind the neck, manhandled him. We're almost at the end of round 3. George Foreman's round again. He hurt Joe Frazier in this round. That's the end of the round. Little bit of blood from the right nostril of Joe Frazier. Now let's take a look at that right and the left by George Foreman. Watch it. There's the right. There's the right. And there's the left. And that's when Frazier was hurt in the 3rd round. But no knockdowns thus far in the fight. Harold Vallon, the referee. Artie Idala and Tony Castellano, the judges. The fight's gone on a round system. New York rule. 3 knockdowns in a round will end the fight automatically. We had that twice in Kingston, Jamaica. We have not, repeat, had a knockdown yet. Foreman right above us. Calm, poised, confident. George Foreman tonight. Gil Clancy is screaming over here. It's all George Foreman tonight. All George Foreman. We'll see. Round 4. When you've got a tiger like Frazier, you don't ever give up on him. Foreman with the size. Foreman with the reach. And to me, the most revealing thing about Foreman thus far remains to be seen if he'll tire, as he has in the past, has been the direct crispness of his punches. No more long, loping punches coming from behind the ear, but right on. Watch. Oh, a foot right, following a left. You know what this fight means to Joe Frazier. He dreams of a Frazier-Ali 4. He was not staggered there. That was a slip. Don't be misled. How to get inside that jab. How to do the damage. Upwards with the left hook. That's the kind of left hook that staggered Ali in the 11th of Ali Fight 1 and floored him in the 15th of Ali Fight 1. Good left hook there by Joe. So he's had 2 good left hooks in this recent series of exchanges. 2 quick lefts by Joe. Suddenly getting into form. That one missed. Uppercut. Frazier again. The crowd responding. But Foreman back. Left. Less than a minute to go, as you can see, in round 4. Ceaseless action. Pushing off to get punching room. They approach the end of round 4. No knockdowns yet. Endless punch. The crowd yelling at every left hook thrown by Frazier. Foreman pushing off again. That's the end of round 4. Frazier's best round of the fight. Now let's go back in slow motion. Watch this right by George Foreman. There it is. Snap the head back. Then watch a left by Joe Frazier. Got in there. Frazier's best round thus far. Round 4. At ringside, the feeling is that that round was even. Begins to tire. Frazier. Remember how Frazier came on in Manila, beginning with round 5 against Ali? Now he's survived 4 against the bigger, apparently stronger man, although each weighs 224.5. Let's see if Foreman backing up a step or 2. Foreman still punching well. You saw that lift. Snap Frazier's head. Pushing him off. Good right by Foreman. This is not the fellow who staggered about the ring against Ron Lyle. No way. Not up to this point. This is not the fellow who was outsmarted by Ali. Or whatever happened to him in Zaire. Frazier trying to fight back. Foreman dominating. Round 5. Foreman got in good coming. And again, you saw it there. Frazier's hurt. Frazier's hurt again. One right. Hurt Frazier. Frazier's down. Frazier is down from the right. The mandatory 8 count. The first knockdown in round 5. George Foreman looking revived tonight. Frazier getting the left. Frazier getting the right. Frazier taking it from George Foreman. Foreman again with the right. Second knockdown in the round. One more knockdown. This fight is over. George Foreman struggling to Frazier struggling to his feet. George Foreman poised in the neutral corner. Look at him. In total command now. And Errol Vallon says the fight is over. George Foreman wins in the 5th round by a technical knockout and dreams a whole new dream. Another match against Muhammad Ali. Too big, too strong, in perfect shape. The punches straight and crisp from the very beginning. No sign of fatigue. Frazier as game as ever, but now inevitably the boxing career over for Joe Frazier. A fight of unceasing action, of relentless punching by George Foreman, and of indomitable courage by George Frazier.
Alex Hamer from Ringside Network, and we're in Newark, New Jersey, at the Shakur Stevens press conference, and Josh is the co-main event on Saturday night. Josh, tell us about how you intend to handle your opponent on Saturday, the Russian.
How I intend to handle the Russian, I guess after this fight, you would call me the Black Rocky the way I'm going to do this Russian.
Josh, do you know anything about your opponent, the Russian?
Yeah, I know a lot about him. He a very basic guy. He got a stance, 2 feet, 2 hands, a head, a chin. And that's about it right there.
Do you expect this fight, Josh, to go to distance, or does it matter to you if it's a knockout or if it goes the distance?
Most importantly, I come to win, but at the end of the day, I work tremendously hard, and I had some of the best sparring partners that's way better than him, and I did good. So I know for a fact that this guy is not gonna be able to handle what I bring to the table come Saturday night.
You mentioned on stage that you were satisfied with the treatment that you received in Newark, and they made you feel at home, and you like to do the same if they ever come to Chicago. Tell us how they made you feel at home here in Newark.
I mean, from the I think it's called Boylan's Recreation Center. When we were there, like the kids, like they wanted. I already signed their paper. And after I signed their paper, they wanted me to sign their hand, their arms, and they just, they embraced me very well, and it meant a lot to me that they was looking at me that way. And they was honoring me in that type of way. And all Shakur family, hey Josh, let me get a picture with you. I mean, it mean a lot to me. So like I said, when he come to Chicago, if he ever come to Chicago, he gonna be treated the same way.
Josh, before I let you go, tell me what you expect after you win on Saturday. What do you see on the horizon as far as your career is concerned?
What I see on the horizon is a lot of more money, a lot of more TV time, a main event, and for me to be world champion real soon.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, Alex Hamer from Ringside Network here with Josh, who's contending for a world title eliminator on Saturday at the Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey. Thank you, Josh.
Thank you.
Hello, boxing fans. This is Alex Hamer, boxing expert. Join me on Boxing Around the Globe on the Ringside Network, your ringside seat.
The Ringside Network goes toe-to-toe with 24 hours of the sweet science. Get the action, insight, and backstories behind the game on Boxing Around the Globe.
It's gonna get crazy, baby. And still!
Hello and welcome to our show. I'm Brian Jenkins alongside my Ringside Network partner, Dee Dee Mann.
We're coming to you from the boxing capital of the world, Philadelphia, PA, the city that has launched and sustained many a famous boxer's career. Long before the fictional Rocky Balboa climbed the now legendary 72 steps outside Philadelphia's Art Museum, the city was a boxing staple among the greats like Joe Frazier, Joey Giardello, Jolton Jeff Chandler, Benny Briscoe, Willie the Worm Monroe, and many others. They're part of a tradition dating back to the 1940s when Philly became known as the place where the toughest of the tough learned the sweet science in rough and tumble gyms. The Ringside Network comes to you in that tradition with a pledge to bring you the best boxing up close, personal, and pure.
Starting right here, right now with today's show. Straight ahead, a look forward at some of boxing's biggest bouts on the horizon. We'll also place the most popular fighters side by side and see how they stack up next to one another, pound for pound. And later on, boxer Jesse Hart will stop by to chat about being one of the best upcoming boxers, and he'll talk about his goals for this year. But first, round one, a walk on the Wilder side, as in Deontay Wilder. The heavyweight champion is looking to solidify his standing among boxing's big men. Wilder's fresh off a sensational victory over Arthur Spilka. Took place last month. Fans at Brooklyn's Barclays Center saw that. The champ delivered a devastating right hand in the ninth that rendered Spilka unconscious and sent him off in an ambulance. This was one of those devastating hits that seemed to come out of nowhere. One of those punches you don't see because it's coming straight at you, packed with bad intentions. One of those I don't like you and you're going down punches.
The Spilka knockout brought Wilder a step closer to the match sports fans really are primed for. A fight between Wilder and European sensation Tyson Fury. With Wilder versus Spilka barely finished, the 27-year-old Gypsy King stormed into the Barclays Center ring and started trading insults with Wilder. Fury could be heard shouting that he'd beat Wilder, quote, anytime, any place, anywhere. He even called Wilder a bum. To which Wilder replied, you can run around like you're a preacher, but I promise you, when you do step in this ring, I will baptize you. Fury says in his eyes he's the undisputed champion, and he can't wait to prove it. Wilder would like nothing more than to defend his title against Tyson Fury. For his part, Fury has some unfinished business to handle with one-time opponent Vladimir Klitschko, who is obligated to fight in a rematch. Fury is the recognized champion, and beating him would unify the belts. But before Wilder faces Fury, Fury would likely face Klitschko in a rematch of their previous bout. You may recall Fury surprised the boxing world by taking down Klitschko. In that fight, the 39-year-old Klitschko looked dreadful. He landed a horrendous 23% of his 231 punches in their November 28th fight in Germany. And then There's Canelo Alvarez, the 25-year-old Mexican superstar. With his win over Miguel Cotto, Alvarez has elevated himself to a new status and is looking to take on all comers. Looming large in his sights, Gennady Golovkin, the dreaded Triple G. The 33-year-old from Kazakhstan is coming off his own big win on October 17th. In that fight, he unified the WBA and IBF middleweight titles, beating the Canadian slugger David Lemieux. With a 34-0, 31 knockout record, Golovkin is fearsome. Alvarez has a more than respectable 46-1 and 1 record with 32 knockouts. The thought of the two-star fighters has promoters salivating, thinking this could be one of the most lucrative fights the sport has seen.
And we're all certainly waiting for that one. Meantime, with not quite the same purse, but a strong appeal nonetheless, there's good news on the horizon about welterweight Amir Khan possibly facing off against Kell Brook. Now, that really is the fight that British fans want to see, and it's looking very much like it'll happen this year. But before the two can face each other, each has unfinished business to attend to. First includes Brook defending his IBF welterweight title against Kevin Brazier in March. For his part, Khan is the mandatory challenger to the WBC title, which Danny Garcia won by beating Robert Guerrero last month. As the smoke from those two clears, the long-awaited Amir Khan-Kell Brook match seems much more certain. Super middleweight world champion Andre Ward is settling into the light heavyweight division and eyeing his much-anticipated bout with Sergey Kovalev. Those two fighters are on course to meet in the fall for what's expected to be one of the most significant fight events of the year. 31-year-old Ward has moved up in weight, and he's fighting at 175 pounds. He and Kovalev are under contract to HBO, which has signed each of them to multiple fight deals. Both Ward and Kovalev must win their intervening bouts, and once they do, that showdown will happen. That likely will elevate the winner into the cadre of the best pound-for-pound boxers. Joining us now to talk about those fights and give them some context is resident boxing expert Alex Hamer. Alex, thanks for joining us. This has got to be a big year for fight fans.
Thank you, Brian. This will be a big year for fight fans. 3 fights immediately come to mind. The heavyweight division, we have Deontay Wilder. In the middleweight division, we have Canelo Alvarez. And in the light heavyweight division, we have Sergey Kovalev. Let me start with the heavies, the big boys. Wilder will fight Vladimir Klitschko or Tyson Fury. The fans really want to see Tyson Fury. Everyone saw how he jumped in the ring after the Arthur Spilker fight and challenged Deontay Wilder. That's going to be a fight that fans are really looking forward to.
And really spicing up the heavyweight division as well.
The heavyweight division will be spiced up. Let me get to Canelo Alvarez out of Mexico. He's truly a rock star, okay? He has millions and millions of fans around the globe, from South America, through North America, and through Europe. Sergey Kovalev will probably fight, not probably, but will fight Andre Ward in 2016. Andre Ward is signed with Rock Nation. This will be your blue-collar Russian fighter versus the hip-hop star Andre, the Son of God Ward. And those 3 fights for 2016 will be very, very intriguing to the boxing world.
And Alex, who's your favorite of these?
I kind of like Deontay Wilder. He'll force his personality on the opponent and force his will on the opponent and be able to win. So Deontay Wilder is my pick.
When Boxing Around the Globe continues, we'll see how the current crop of boxers stacks up against one another. Then later, we'll have a word with boxing's rising star, Jesse Hardwork Hart.
Trivia question: who was the first boxer to knock down Muhammad Ali in his professional career? Was it Pernell Whitaker, Joe Frazier, John Henry Lewis, or Sonny Banks?
From a business perspective, what would you anticipate, Joe, if he's the victor after going forward?
Oh, I mean, look, it's been a great ride now. It keeps mushrooming and snowballing out. People they know who he is. He's been able to show the character that he has inside and outside of the ring, the winner that he is. But beating Manny Pacquiao makes him not just a star or a growing star, but a superstar.
Exactly.
Really, he can become the next face in boxing.
Right.
And that's what a win like this does.
And our trivia question, who was the first boxer to knock down Muhammad Ali in his professional career? The answer, D, Sonny Banks.
And now, round two. It's the question everyone wants an answer to. Who's the best boxer around? Brian, care to weigh in on this?
I've got an opinion just like everyone else does, but that's a tough call. Lots of good talent out there. RSN put together a group of boxing experts who came up with a list of top 10 fighters pound for pound. Joining us now to share those rankings is RSN's Charisma McElwain. And Charisma, first off, for the novices out there, how do we rank boxers?
Well, Brian and Dee, that's a very good question. You rank fighters in several ways, according to their body of work, their competition, how decisive their win was, the fighter's popularity, the economic impact of their fight, the number of titles they have, and intangibles like work ethic.
Wow, lots to consider.
Indeed.
All right, well, let's get started. Let's talk about number 10.
Number 10 is Tim Bradley, a.k.a. Desert Storm.
Wow, good choice. He put in a lot of work if you saw him against Pacquiao.
He did indeed. And fun fact, he's actually been on a vegan diet since 2008 for his fights.
How about that? He doesn't look it.
Not at all. The 32-year-old Bradley is a two-time WBO welterweight champion, a two-time former WBC light welterweight champion, and former WBO light welterweight champion as well. RSN ranks him at 10 due to his loss to Manny Pacquiao.
Who do we have at number 9?
That would be Jesse Hardwork Hart.
Now watch what you say about Jesse Hart. He's right here in our studio today.
No worries, I have nothing bad to say. I would not want to go toe-to-toe with him. Number 8 is Vasyl Lomachenko.
Lomachenko, let's see. The 27-year-old Ukrainian, he calls himself high-tech. This guy's got an amateur record, 396-1.
That is quite impressive. Many consider him to be one of the most skilled fighters in the sport today, and some would even argue he's the greatest amateur boxer of all time. He's won Olympic gold in 2008 and 2012, and he's got international experience to spare, so this is definitely one of boxing's bright lights. Manny Pacquiao is coming in at number 7.
And well paid too. His bout last year with Floyd Mayweather saw some of the heftiest dollars exchange hands in the boxing history.
That payday was a good one for everyone involved, Dee. I wish I was a part of it, but even though the fight itself was a bit of a letdown, no one can base Pacquiao's fight just on that. So overall, this is still one of boxing's best pound for pound, and Pacquiao has won championships in 7 different weight classes, from featherweight to junior middleweight. So you could make the argument that he should be higher on the list, but ultimately we placed him here thanks to the loss to Mayweather and his 2012 loss to Juan Manuel Marquez.
And we're still scratching our heads over that one. Of course, the 37-year-old Pacquiao is in the twilight of his career, and he's still moving along. We'll see what he does to cap it off. Next on the list.
Next on the list is Terrence Crawford at number 6.
Terrence Crawford of Omaha. Let's see, the last time I heard Omaha was when Peyton Manning was calling snaps. But Omaha, Nebraska, got some great talent coming out in Terrence.
True indeed. Terrence Crawford, even though you don't normally hear a lot of fighters coming out of Omaha, there still might be a bunch of people that don't know or haven't heard of Crawford, but believe me, this boxer is the truth. At 27-0 with 19 KOs, he's one of boxing's rising stars, albeit quietly rising. This 27-year-old WBO junior welterweight has lots of potential and is definitely one to watch.
Since his breakout year in 2013, he's been steadily on the move. Charisma, I expect more people will have something to say about Omaha and about him in the months ahead. Now, our next fighter isn't also from Omaha, is he?
No, not at all, Dee. Andre, Son of God, or SOG Ward, hails from the Bay Area in California, where it's nice and sunny.
SOG, the Ring Magazine's super middleweight champion.
Yes, the former WBC, WBA lineal champ, who is represented by Jay-Z's Rock Nation, is going to be a well-promoted big name and personality on the march. With 28 wins and no losses to go, with his 15 knockouts, this is someone with serious skills who's poised to make a bigger name for himself. This 31-year-old is a good technician, a former gold medalist at the 2004 Olympics, and Ward is very much on the comeback trail after spending most of 2013 nursing injuries and being inactive in 2014.
No question, he's someone we'll want to keep our eyes on and watch how well he returns to form. Of course, just one word standing in the way of his legacy, Kovalev. We'll see how that comes out.
Ouch. Number 4, I'm going to say this only once, so listen very closely. Santos Saul Alvarez Barragan.
You nailed it.
Did I?
You mean Canelo Alvarez.
Yes, Canelo Alvarez, the red-maned Mexican superstar who's lighting up the boxing world. He's got 46 wins against 1 loss, and 32 of his wins were by knockout. That 1 loss, by the way, was to Floyd Mayweather. The Russian Sergey Kovalev occupies the number 3 spot.
Kovalev is the light heavyweight champion of the world.
Yes, that he is effectively. He holds all the major belts but 1 in his weight class. He's a 32-year-old with 28 victories. All but 3 of those were by knockout.
And it's worth pointing out that with Kovalev's amateur record, 193-22.
Wow.
This is somebody who's been prolific, a fearsome fighter for a very long time. We're just about at the top of our list, but not before we share number 2, Charisma.
Number 2 is Nicaragua's Roman Gonzalez, better known as Chocolito.
Well, some have Chocolito ranked at number 1. He might get a little upset about this.
You know, I think you're right, Brian, but after all, who doesn't like Chocolito? At just 28 years old, Chocolito Gonzalez has 193 rounds of boxing in him and has emerged victorious all of the 44 times he stepped into the ring. 38 of this flyweight's opponents have fallen by knockout. And at number 1, drum roll please, is Triple G.
The dreaded Triple G, Gennady Golovkin.
Dreaded if you're squaring off against him in the ring for sure. A staggering 91% of this 33-year-old middleweight's 34 fights, or 31 of them, have concluded in a knockout. Triple G was born in Kazakhstan, and apparently he tries to knock each of his opponents back there. Winning the majority of his bouts decisively. In a word, Triple G is fearless.
He certainly is. He has earned that title in every fight. Thanks, Charisma. Good job.
Thank you.
Well, as Dee Dee mentioned earlier in the segment, one of the fighters included in our list is Jesse Hart.
As luck would have it, he just happens to be here with us in our studio today. When we return, Brian and Jesse will have a little chat.
Harold, Alex Hamer from Ringside Network. I wanted to get your opinion on Sergey, the Russian that's going to fight Bernard Hopkins on November 8th. Can you tell us what you think about that preliminarily?
Sergey Kovalev is probably the hardest hitter in boxing today. Huge puncher. The guy's got a right hand that'll just knock you dead. And, you know, he's been knocking out everybody. And not only that, he's been knocking out everybody in the early rounds, too. You know, Nathan Cleverly and all the guys he's fought recently, Ismail Salak, you know, decent fighters, and he's just been bowling them over. Right. I mean, he's undefeated. He only has 1 draw on his record. Right. I think he's 25-0. And, you know, 23 knockouts. So you can't argue with his power. Of course, he's never fought a guy that you know, is a good defensive fighter that's going to hit him back.
Welcome back to Boxing Around the Globe. We're joined now by Jesse Hart. He is the USBA super middleweight champion, on our list of top 10 best fighters pound for pound. Thanks for coming on and joining us today, Jesse. Appreciate having you.
Man, it's a pleasure.
Let me ask you this. In the boxing game, you know, you toil in the gym and you got so much competition out there. You had the advantage, and let me ask you if it's an advantage. Last year, you fought Aaron Pryor Jr. They say that politics and promotion is what determines who gets the shot. And you both had big names. You both had dads with big names. Did that help elevate your career to get you in the mindset of the boxing world?
Well, I believe it did. You know, all the pressure was on the both of us as being sons of 2 legendary champions such as Aaron Pryor Jr. and my dad, Cyclone Hart. It was just such a big thing for the boxing world because you had two sons, fathers that fought in that 15-round era. I had a lot of pressure on me just from my own father.
I can imagine. You were talking about the fact that he was number 3, where you are now,
right,
and that he stopped short of chasing the championship.
Right.
Do you get a sense that he's put that on you?
Yes, I think that's what he wanted me to take it further than he did. And he keeps saying that I got complacent when I was number 3, and I want you to take it further than I did, son. And that's the goal, to be champion now. You know, I got the number 3, now you number 3, but you're going to be the champion of the world. I'm not going to let you get civilized. But my dad, he always say, man, I want you to be better than me. I want you to be in the boxing Hall of Fame.
Now you got one fight ahead of you that determines who you fight for the championship, correct?
Right. March 18th, I'll be fighting here in Philadelphia. You know, and that determines what I'll be fighting for the title after March. Whoever wins out of Gilberto Ramirez and Arthur Abraham, that's who I will be fighting sometime in the fall.
All right. Well, good luck. You ready?
More than ready. Can't wait to get in there.
We'll be watching you.
Oh, man,
thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
2015 was a great year for boxing, and some moments from last year still have us talking about them and setting up for great storylines this year.
Starting with the fight of the year between Francisco Vargas and Takashi Miura. Vargas, a messy right eye. Vargas appeared on his way to defeat. He was badly beaten when he rallied for an amazing comeback. In electrifying fashion, Vargas knocked out Miura in the 9th round to win a junior lightweight world title on the Miguel Cotto Canelo Alvarez undercard at the Mandalay Bay Events Center. It was one of Vargas's 17 KOs, who is 23-0 and 1.
That was a great fight, but the best knockout of the year came during the Canelo-Kirkland match. May 9th, Canelo Alvarez hooked up with power brawler James Kirkland in front of a raucous 31,000-plus crowd at Houston's Minute Maid Park, and they did not disappoint. It was a slugfest that concluded violently with Alvarez destroying Kirkland with one whopper of a right hand. The shot connected with Kirkland's jaw and spun him halfway around into the ropes and sent him crashing to the canvas. Kirkland required medical attention and was taken to the hospital for precautionary reasons.
Our fighter of the year is Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez. We mentioned him, of course, in the last segment as one of our pound-for-pound best boxers. Gonzalez is the current WBC and the Ring Magazine flyweight champion. He's also laid claim to the WBA light flyweight and WBA minimum weight championships. At 28 years old, he's stepping now into his prime.
And last on our list, John David Jackson is our trainer of the year.
Boxing Around the Globe continues right after this.
Well, that's it for today's show. Whether it's around the corner, across the nation, or overseas, you'll find it right here on RSN's Boxing Around the Globe. For Dee Mann and Charisma McElwain, I'm Brian Jenkins. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you ringside.
Is there a non-stop fight, Bob, to Macau? I was over there a couple of years ago, and I flew into Hong Kong. Did you know about that?
There are 2 ways to go. One is to fly to Hong Kong and take the ferry to Macau. The other is to fly into Taipei and then take a connecting flight to Macau. There is no non-stop from the States to Macau. But the best way to go is to take EVA Airline to Taipei, and then you wait about 2 hours, and you take the flight to Macau, and you're 5 minutes from the hotel.
Right. Yeah, we flew over on EVA Air, and as I recall, there were only 2 or 3 flights per week. Is that still the case?
No, they have a lot more.
Okay.
And from New York, LA, and San Francisco.
Bob, do you expect a sellout in the arena?
Oh, definitely. It's, that's not a question. The arena sold out for Manny's last fight. it'll sell out for this, and we'll have thousands watching at the facility on closed circuit.
Is the undercard developing to your satisfaction?
It's already done. It's Zhao Shiming in the eliminate, Vasil Lomachenko against the #1 contender, and Vargas, Jesse Vargas against Tony DeMarco of Mexico for the 140-pound title. And then we'll have various Chinese fighters fighting in the non-televised portion.
Bob, you were recently quoted as saying that Pacquiao and Mayweather may indeed fight twice in 2015. What, if anything, can you tell us about that?
Just that there's no network complication. You know, Pacquiao fights on HBO, Mayweather fights on Showtime. They've agreed to work together if and when the parties can put together the fight.
Would you expect a fight like that, assuming that a Mayweather-Pacquiao fight did happen, that it would be overseas, or would it be stateside like in Las Vegas?
Well, it would probably be stateside, I would think, but not necessarily Vegas. What about Jerry Jones's stadium in Dallas?
Right. What would be your preference? Where would you like to see it?
Dallas.
Dallas? Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Alex Hamer from Ringside Network. I'm in Newark, New Jersey prior to the Shakur Stevenson fight, and I have his manager and advisor, Jay Prince. Jay, how are you?
Well, I'm good. I'm good. Glad to be in Newark, man.
Jay, was it kind of frustrating getting an opponent for Shakur? I know they changed it a couple different times. How did that affect the young man?
Yeah, I mean, you know, wasn't a comfortable moment, but you know, that's boxing, and we just made the adjustments. You know, there are going to be many called, few chosen. So the chosen ones that want this experience, you know, we're going to give it to them.
Jay, I wanted to ask you about your book. One of the most interesting chapters were, I think it was chapter 3, when you said there were leaders, followers, and loners. Yeah. When did you first come to that realization, Jay?
I came to that realization in elementary school without really knowing the real substance of what I was seeing.
So it was retrospective then. You found out later what was the deal.
Yeah, it was like the seeds was planted and fruition came on later in life. I'm like, oh, so this is the meaning of these quality of individuals.
Great. How have the sales been on the book, Jay?
Oh, great. The sales has been great. Been so great until I'm actually supposed to be closing a deal next week with one of the biggest publishers in New York. You know, they want to pick the same book up and also give me a platform to release 3 to 4 other books a year.
We saw you on Trevor Noah. Was that one of the highlights since you wrote the book? That I know like 10 million people saw you that night.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun with Travis, man. He's a funny guy, and it definitely reached a lot of people and contributed to the success of the book.
So, Jay, my final question is, what do you expect Saturday night, boxing-wise? Do you expect this thing to go to distance, a knockout? What do you expect?
Well, I expect Shakur to put on a clinic. You know what I mean? Whether it be long or short. You know, he's the type of fighter that embraces opportunity as it's given to him. So if he had that opportunity for that knockout, it will come. I know he wants that. and but most of all, he gonna punish him if he don't knock him out.
Jay, you got a lot of friends at Ringside Network in Philadelphia that have the utmost respect for you. What else are you doing as far as the other fighters that you have up on the stage?
Well, you know, I also have Joshua Greer, you know, night, the pillar man that put everybody to sleep, and then also Julian Rodriguez.
Right.
And also on Saturday, I have a fighter by the name of Brian Jennings, who is fighting in London.
Right.
And I also have a fighter in Paris, Tony Yoka. So I wish I could be in a bunch of places at the same time, but
that's impossible. But this is number one, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, this is something I had committed to before setting the other fights up, so it's only right to be here.
Jay, thank you very much for taking the time to speak with you. Alex Hamer at Ringside Network, Newark, New Jersey. Thank you.
Welcome, boxing fans, to another edition of Boxing Around the Globe, exclusively on the Ringside Network, your ringside seat. I'm your host, Rich Quinones, and thanks so much for joining us. We are so happy to be able to be back in studio talking some boxing. We have a jam-packed show. Charisma McElwain will join us in a little bit. We'll get her thoughts on what's going on with female boxing, and I'm going to ask Charisma, are we going to finally get to see Wilder and Fury 3? That should be a great segment. Don't forget, too, later on in the program, our boxing expert, Alex Hamer, he's going to join us as him and I kind of go back and forth between rounds, and we break down Lopez and Lomachenko. That's slated for October 17th. We'll close it out with Alex's famous and sometimes controversial Top 10 that's presented by the aforementioned Ringside Network. So with that being said, let's get it underway. Our opening bell. Well, if you haven't seen boxing in a while, let alone sports, you know why. It's the COVID-19. We all had to deal with it. The pandemic halted all sports in the U.S. in March. From March until June, boxing took an 8 count but refused to be counted out. The boxing gods immediately went back to the drawing board to come up with some concrete solutions to a real problem. In walks Top Rank. They submit a 20-page proposal to the Nevada State Athletic Commission. The plan included all types of safety measures to protect the fighters and their trainers, which is a smart idea. The infamous bubble at the MGM Grand Center was created where all the fighters can be quarantined to make sure they were COVID-19 free before stepping back into the ring and giving the fans what we crave, some action. But no fans were allowed in the arena. We had to watch on TV. No press allowed. They had to do their due diligence and really watch and research and write up on these fights. And if you go back to June 9th, the first fight in the bubble was Newark's Shakur Stevenson, who scored a scintillating, dominating 6-round knockout over Felix Caraballo. One of the boxers, we don't know who, told the Ringside Network that fighting in the bubble was almost like sparring, and it was something that a fighter would have to get used to. Looks like we're going to have to get used to this controlled environment, as well as the fighters and the fans, at least until the end of the year. All right, so one round is in the books. Keep it locked in here to Boxing Around the Globe right here on the Ringside Network. We're going to step aside. When we come back, our boxing expert, the knowledgeable Charisma McElwain, will give us a little insight on Fury and Wilder. Are we going to get them for the third time? We're going to talk a little female boxing with her as well. And as always, get social with us on Twitter at RSN_TV, hashtag Boxing Around the Globe. Because when we talk to Alex a little later on in the program, you are definitely want to go and have a little fun with him on social media when he presents his top 10 as we close out another edition of Boxing Around the Globe. Lace him up. We'll step aside. We'll come back right after this.
Let Ed Sr. and his staff at Samson Motors show you how easy it is to buy a quality used car in Philadelphia. Samson Motors believes in fair prices, superior service, and treating you right. Their knowledgeable staff is there for you. Credit issues? Not at Samson Motors. Let Marcus from their finance department help you. Call Marcus at 215-288-6050. That's 215-288-6050. You can find Samson Motors in the Great Northeast at 6221 Harbinson Avenue in Philadelphia. Check out their large pre-owned inventory anytime at SamsonMotorsPhilly.com.
My name is Dan Gattuso, owner of Dry Guys Basement Systems. We cover all of southern New Jersey and southeast Pennsylvania. One of our biggest parts of our industry is basement and crawl space waterproofing. We offer things that nobody in that industry can. There's a lot of patented products we use that actually allows you to straighten your walls even over time. If you have a bowed wall, we can straighten it out for you. We're not afraid to stand behind products we know are the best in the industry.
Welcome back, boxing fans, to this edition of Boxing Around the Globe, exclusively on the Ringside Network. And, of course, your ringside seat. I'm your host, Rich Quinones. Thanks for taking a ride with us through the opening round. My goodness, you know, the show always has this phonetical fast pace, and that's okay. That's the way we like it, just like heavyweights. And to talk a little bit about some heavyweights, Wilder Fury, are we going to get that third bout? We have to bring in our boxing expert, Charisma McElwain. And Charisma, I'll tell you, you talk about Wilder and you talk about Fury. This is a fight I know you want to see. Charisma, I know I want to see this. What's the latest on this one?
Well, you want to see it, I want to see it. The fans have been waiting for it. You might have to wait a little bit longer, though. The rematch that every fan has been anticipating, Fury versus Wilder 3, was planned initially for July 18th. And because of COVID, it was postponed until October 3rd. Now fans and we have to wait yet again because now the rematch is planned for December 19th. The anticipated venue is the new Raiders home, the Allegiant Stadium, and that stadium holds 65,000 people. So packing in 15 to 20,000 people should handle the social distancing problems. Bob Arum, the president of Top Rank, said the fight has received offers from Macau and China and venues in Australia. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But what are your thoughts, Rich?
I'm not a patient man. I need to see these two go at it. We've been waiting so long for some boxing, and I know later on we're also going to talk a little female boxing, which I'm sure you're excited of. But listen, tell the viewers what we have in store as the show progresses.
Well, fans, don't go anywhere because just after the next segment, we're going to have boxing expert Alex Hamer come and talk his pound for pound top 10. It's going to be controversial, but that's what we like here in boxing because we like to fight. But don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more Ringside Network and Boxing Around the Globe right after this.
Let Ed Sr. and his staff at Samson Motors show you how easy it is to buy a quality used car in Philadelphia. Samson Motors believes in fair prices, superior service, and treating you right. Their knowledgeable staff is there for you. Credit issues? Not at Samson Motors. Let Marcus from their finance department help you. Call Marcus at 215-288-6050. That's 215-288-6050. You can find Samson Motors in the Great Northeast at 6221 Harbinson Avenue in Philadelphia. Check out their large pre-owned inventory anytime at SamsonMotorsPhilly.com.
Welcome back to this edition of Boxing Around the Globe, exclusively on the Ringside Network. Rich Quinones here. Thanks for joining us. And I'm telling you, as this show is starting to speed up in the middle rounds, we can't wait to get to some of the late rounds. But before we do that, we'll throw it back over to our boxing expert, Charisma. And we're talking a little bit about the female fighters. You teased it wonderfully going into the break. Jessica McCaskill, Cecilia Brakehouse. That was a heck of a fight between these two.
Thanks, Rich. As you know, I love talking about the ladies of boxing. Cecilia Brakehouse, known affectionately as the First Lady of Boxing, lost a close majority decision to investment banker turned boxer Jessica McCaskill. At the end of the fight, Brakehouse indicated that she might retire. Cecilia suffered her first loss in 11 years as a professional fighter. McCaskill, on the other hand, only has 10 professional fights. The fight was a hard-fought welterweight contest between the two women, and even though Ringside Network had scored in favor of Brickhouse, the decision really could have gone either way. In confirming the rematch, Brickhouse told RSN she thought she did not fight at 100%, and she didn't want to go out on a career-worst performance. She felt she owed it to her fans all over the world. I don't know. I don't think I'm ready for her to retire. What do you think?
Listen, I think to each his own. We can't tell these fighters when to give up the sport, but I'm telling you, how about female boxing over the last 3, 4, 5 years? I mean, there are so many great, notable female fighters to really watch and to follow, especially on social media.
So, who are some of your favorite female boxers?
It's an excellent. That's a body shot question. Caught me off guard on that one. Listen, Amanda, the Serrano sisters, Heather Hardy, who made the transition from boxing to MMA. Christina Cruz, who grew up in Hell's Kitchen, was a storied amateur boxer on the New York boxing scene. And then we have to pay homage to the Mia St. Johns and the Maureen O'Shea's of the world, the $1 million babies. So, but I tend to agree with you. You know, at times you hate to see some of these fighters retire, but sometimes it is also in their best interest.
I guess we're just going to have to wait and see.
Yeah, we're going to have to fingers crossed on that one, but I'm telling you, keep it locked in with a lot of these female fighters. They're doing a heck of a job. Excellent segment, Charisma. We appreciate it. All right, so listen, as we start rolling along, we got to remind you guys to get social with us on Twitter. Follow us on Twitter at @RSN_TV. And the reason you're going to have to do that, and hashtag boxing around the globe, because later on in the program, Charisma already made mention of it before, Alex Hamer is going to give us his pound-for-pound top 10 Ringside Network list. And you guys are going to want to hashtag boxing around the globe. You're going to want to hashtag the Ringside Network. You're going to want to hashtag, you can hashtag Alex Hamer. It doesn't matter, because I know it's going to be a controversial list. We're going to step aside. When we come back, I'm going to give you a little insight on a little segment, a little drama going on between some of the media, some of the networks, some of the CEOs. We like to title that one, The Hatfield and McCoys. Boxing Around the Globe continues right after this.
My name is Dan Gattuso, owner of Dry Guys Basement Systems. We cover all of southern New Jersey and southeast Pennsylvania. One of our biggest parts of our industry is basement and crawl space waterproofing. We offer things that nobody in that industry can. There's a lot of patented products we use that actually allows you to straighten your walls even over time. If you have a bowed wall, we can straighten it out for you. We're not afraid to stand behind products we know are the best in the industry.
Let Ed Sr. and his staff at Samson Motors show you how easy it is to buy a quality used car in Philadelphia. Samson Motors believes in fair prices, superior service, and treating you right. Their knowledgeable staff is there for you. Credit issues? Not at Samson Motors. Let Marcus from their finance department help you. Call Marcus at 215-288-6050. That's 215-288-6050. You can find Samson Motors in the Great Northeast at 6221 Harbinson Avenue in Philadelphia. Check out their large pre-owned inventory anytime at SamsonMotorsPhilly.com.
Welcome back, boxing fans, to this edition of Boxing Around the Globe, exclusively on the Ringside Network, your ringside seat. Rich Quinones here, back in the saddle. And, you know, as we start to really get into the show, we got to remind you, we'll close it out with a preview of Lopez and Lomachenko. And then, of course, Alex is going to provide his Ringside Network top 10 pound-for-pound list. But we always love, who doesn't love a good feud? Who doesn't love a little controversy? Well, we got one for you this time with the media and some CEOs and some fighters alike. A feud recently erupted between Ring Magazine and Showtime. Ring Magazine editor Doug Fisher, oh, you gotta love Doug Fisher's Dougie's Daily Mailbag, if you will. He does every month, always stirs the pot. He wrote an article indicating that Showtime, which is owned by CBS, lost money when it landed pay-per-view king Floyd Mayweather's 7-fight mega deal almost a decade ago. We're still arguing about this stuff. The Barbs immediately started